In the realm of video game fiction, one thing has always stood out: the super cool weapons. Many of them are designed with fun and aesthetics over realism, but honestly, it'd still be pretty cool to see some of these iconic weapons recreated in real life. Well, luckily for us nerds, there's some talented tradesmen who also happen to be nerds that make some of these a reality. Hey guys, ArcadeCloud here, and today we're counting down our top 10 weapons from games that actually exist in real life. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. It's free. At number 10 today, we have a video from a YouTube creator called Assasin, who makes things out of Legos. This time, he made a weapon from the classic multiplayer time sink Team Fortress 2. It's one of the Heavy's best allies for more stealthy play, the Tomislav. Yes, he recreated the entire weapon to scale using nothing but Legos. I'll be the first to say I was never this creative with my Legos, and his hard work and knowledge of the blocks really shows on this one. While the color scheme is a little bit bland, it is made out of plastic block toys, so I mean, I really can't blame him for that. It's more Lego's fault for making a pretty select number of colors to work with. It looks pretty cool, especially from the first-person view he films, even if his arm is in the way. Would a LEGO TF2 crossover be any good? I mean, after seeing this, I'm starting to have those weird franchise crossover fantasies again.
What's going on, guys? My name is Assasin, and today I've built the Tomislav from Team Fortress 2, and you can see a scale of it with the LEGO minifigure. It's absolutely massive. It measures 42.5 inches long. I used LEGO tank treads for the sling that it has, and you can see it's mostly comprised of dark gray and brown LEGO bricks for the wooden furniture.
Coming in at number 9, we have a recreation of the Raygun from the Call of Duty series. One of the most iconic zombies weapons, it sure has a very distinct art style that would translate well into a brightly colored paints and enamels. And hey, wouldn't you know, one exists! Well, many of them exist, but this one in particular has everything pretty much perfect. Even the way the gun is reloaded is down pat. The paint is nice and shiny, and it looks pretty close to the real thing. Well, fake thing, because it's in a fictional game. It doesn't shoot any actual rays though, so don't go looking for Pack-a-Punch in preparation of the real-world zombie apocalypse. Can't blame you for thinking that way though, because the zombie apocalypse is coming. It's just a matter of time. In the meantime, let's start making real ray guns, please. I'm scared about being defenseless against the living dead because I'm horrible at Call of Duty Zombies, and I'm sure that's a great indication that I'll be the first to join the horde. And by that, I mean die.
So the knob turns and the toggle switch flips up. And on the side here are metal bars that were cut with a bandsaw, then sanded down to get the angle. And here's the front. It also opens up, you know, just in case you run out of ammo and you need to reload. You put it back in and it snaps back.
At number 8 today, we have our first of many videos from our web show called ManAtArms, a show with fairly high production value. These videos look like they belong to a TV show, so not only do we get some awesome looking builds, but we also get to look at them at a bunch of great angles to really take it all in. And their first weapon on this list is the gravity hammer from the Halo series. Known by many as the one-hit kill death stick that sent assault rifle carriers running, the gravity hammer is one of the most iconic weapons from the Halo franchise. It's big, it's deadly, and it's a ton of fun to bring down on your foes. I mean, what's cooler than just a really big killer hammer? Not much, and this recreation is pretty spot on. It's got all the right geometric patterns on the sides, and even the blade on the back. It's made of really strong, heavy metal, and you actually get to watch the whole machining process. And yeah, this thing can definitely do some damage. Maybe it's not as convenient as one would have hoped, but I mean, how convenient and easy to swing do you expect a freakishly gigantic metal hammer to be? Moving on to number 7 on our list, we have a recreation of the Hero's Bow from the Zelda series. Now, the look of the bow changes slightly based on the game, but this particular recreation looks most like the Hero's Bow from Twilight Princess, at least, you know, to me. This remake is from another high-budget show, this time called ArcadeArms. The video follows a traditional bow maker named Greg Anderson who actually cuts down the tree and creates the bow from scratch with hand tools. the finished product looks pretty darn close, and then they add the finishing metal touches afterwards. They bring in an archery expert who worked on the TV series Arrow and her apprentice to demonstrate its lethality, and they even made some working bomb arrows. It's pretty cool to see that they got some actual pots to blow up with the bomb arrows, so you'd see what it'd look like in real life to raid houses with explosives. Not a bad job, guys, not a bad job. At number 6, we've got our second video from the ManAtArms series, this time the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy. Yeah, one that's made to scale. This thing weighs over 80 pounds according to the video, and swinging it is not easy. This recreation is obviously unusable in actual combat scenarios, but I mean, if you're strong enough, I guess you can try. And the guys on this show sure do, slicing full soda bottles and breaking watermelons, to breaking the tables holding the targets up as well. I mean, the watermelons aren't putting up a fight, so I guess you might be able to do some damage to your foes with this if you were doing it stealthily, but it's pretty hard to be stealthy and carry a 6-foot-long, 80-pound hunk of metal. It makes sense in the realm of fantasy, but this weapon just isn't viable otherwise. Sorry, Cloud, we're calling your bluff there.
I'm a pretty strong guy, but just carrying the Buster Sword out of my workshop pretty much wrecked my back and arm. I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. I don't think I want to do another one, but
Coming in at number 5 on our list, we have the Shishkebab from Fallout 4, recreated by the Make channel. This is a katana and a flamethrower in one, so basically it's a steampunk fire sword. It uses a standard butane fuel canister, but with the paint job it got, this thing looks pretty darn close to the original. A lot of the valves and knobs on it are purely for aesthetic purposes and don't actually do anything, but the sword does actually work. When you pull the motorcycle brake lever on the back, the canister is compressed, sending butane fuel down the tubes and out the holes attached to the sword. When a small button on the side is pressed, spark is created in the ends of the holes, igniting the butane. The result is a pretty cool looking sword, but it isn't all that practical for actually setting things on fire, unfortunately. It just isn't that easy to set something on fire instantly unless it's covered in a flammable substance, but even when they coated a magazine in denatured alcohol, the thing still didn't light up very quickly. So while this sword flamethrower crossover is pretty cool looking, it probably won't hold up well if it was used for battle in the real world.
It's covered in denatured alcohol just for effect, so it'll poof up. Let's see what happens here. This is Roger, our mutant intern. Give me my sword. Thanks, Roger.
Moving on up to number 4 today, we have our first video from crazed DIY extraordinaire, ColinFurze. He was asked by Square Enix to make a replica rocket gauntlet from Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and of course he managed to pull it off. The rocket chambers even retract back into the cuff he built to house everything, and it comes packed with a ballistic knife and a taser. I mean, this is already getting to superhero levels of awesome weaponry. He even destroys a drone with a rocket and shoots the ballistic knife into a mannequin head. It's a pretty cool contraption, something any crime-fighting hero or genius supervillain would definitely have in their arsenal. But the difference here is it's real, not just a fictional or CGI-created weapon. Props to you for your excellent engineering skills, Colin. Props to you.
Game maker said, "Furze, can you make one? Have a crack at it." I said, "Yes, I've made this. It's got these brilliant rockets which like kind of pop out from my arm, and then we've got a ballistic knife and a taser. I say we go and have a play with this thing."
Heading into our top 3 today, at number 3 we have the Half-Life Crossbow, which was recreated by a show called Make It Real. And they most certainly did. This thing spits hot bars like it's gearing up to drop the hottest diss track of 2017. Wow, that was a bad one. Now, while red hot metal isn't the best at penetrating targets because it's basically a liquid at that point, the actual construction behind this remake is pretty solid. Since the original model for the crossbow looked cobbled together, it was pretty easy to replicate the style. So after studying the model for some time, they finally finished it and tested the firing capabilities. It sets a few things on fire, but it doesn't manage to do much in terms of actual ballistic damage. It gets stuck in the zombie head prop they shoot the rebar at, but it doesn't actually break or anything, so after shooting it for a while, they just end up taking an axe to the thing for closure. I mean, I don't blame them. If I spent time filling a zombie head mold with fake brains, I'd want to see them splatter everywhere too.
I don't know how I'm gonna aim for this. Holy sh! I hit the apple!
Come on! Yeah!
There we go.
Coming in at number 2, we've got another video from ColinFurze, the backyard maniac engineer. This time he made the hidden blade and the rope launcher grappling hook from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Something that's always been on my list of weapons I'd love to have just because of how gosh darn cool it is. The hidden blade is the biggest icon for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Plus, the rope launcher he made as a bonus makes for the perfect maneuverability and lethal combo. Being able to pull yourself up tall structures using a motor, and also being able to slash or stab your enemies, is a surefire way to strike some good old-fashioned fear into your targets. And yeah, they both work very well. I'm honestly pretty surprised, but I mean, this is the guy who made a retractable rocket-launching Gauntlet too. Now I guess the next question for Colin is, hey dude, why aren't you selling these exactly? It would make you a bajillionaire. Just saying, man.
Insert CO2 canister. Point to destination and fire. Now, winch yourself up.
Now, we're sick and tired.
Please don't snap. Please don't snap. Oh, yes. The hidden blade from Assassin's Creed. One of the most notorious devices of any game franchise. Stab, slash, or intimidate your enemy.
And finally, the number 1 spot on our list has to go to ManAtArms for the Bloodborne saw cleaver. I mean, just look at this thing. It's about as close to perfect as you can get. The time and effort that went into this particular build is nothing to scoff at, and it shows. Not only does it retract and lock into place, but this thing gets all the aesthetics down pat. From the wrapped handle to the carved runes, the heat treatment, it's all there. This is something I could see FromSoft hanging on their wall. Oh yeah, and it does some major damage. Not only is it heavy enough to completely smash things, it's sharp enough to actually slice through the plastic milk jugs they're cutting with it. Those slow-mo shots are pretty cool to watch. Makes you want to go swing a big saw blade at a bunch of gruesome looking monsters for a good while, doesn't it? And there you have it, our list of the top 10 weapons from games that exist in real life. Do you agree? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos from ArcadeCloud every other day. Take care and game on.